Welcome to this lesson on trigonometry in physics. Today, we are exploring projectile motion. Have you ever wondered how to predict exactly where a ball will land when you throw it, or how engineers calculate the path of a rocket? It all comes down to analyzing the trajectory using simple trigonometry. In this session, we will break down the curved path of flight into understandable parts. First, let us define what we are dealing with. Projectile motion refers to the motion of any object thrown or projected into the air. Once it is launched, the only force acting on it is gravity, assuming we ignore air resistance for simplicity. This creates a specific curved shape known as a parabola. You see this everywhere, from a soccer ball being kicked to water coming out of a hose. To analyze this motion, we need a starting point. Every projectile begins with an initial velocity, which is the speed at launch, and a launch angle, which is the direction relative to the ground. We represent the velocity as a vector arrow, labeled v, and the angle as theta. These two values determine the entire flight path. Here is where the trigonometry comes in. A diagonal velocity is hard to work with, so we split it into two simple straight lines. Imagine a right-angled triangle. The horizontal side is adjacent to the angle, so we use cosine. The vertical side is opposite to the angle, so we use sine. This gives us v sub x and v sub y, the horizontal and vertical components of the speed. Now let us look at the horizontal part separately. Because gravity only pulls downwards, nothing is pushing or pulling the object horizontally. This means the horizontal speed, v sub x, stays constant the entire time. It never speeds up or slows down. The distance traveled is simply this constant speed multiplied by time. The vertical motion is different. Gravity is constantly pulling the object down. This means it slows down as it goes up, stops momentarily at the very peak where vertical velocity is 0, and then speeds up as it falls back down. We calculate this changing velocity using the acceleration of gravity, which is approximately 9.8 meters per second squared. When we combine these two independent motions, we get the trajectory. The object moves forward at a steady pace while simultaneously going up and down. This independence is a crucial concept in physics. Even though the path looks curved, we can calculate the position at any point by calculating x and y separately. Trigonometry allows us to calculate specific key metrics, like the maximum height. We know that at the peak of the flight, the vertical velocity is 0. By plugging this into our kinematics equations, we derive a formula for height, represented by capital H. Notice that the height depends on the sine of the angle squared. A steeper angle means more height. Another important metric is the range, or the total distance traveled along the ground. This depends on both how fast the object is moving horizontally and how long it stays in the air. The formula for range involves the sine of 2 times theta. Interestingly, this formula mathematically proves that an angle of 45 degrees gives the maximum possible range. To wrap up, remember that projectile motion is just two simple motions happening at once. We use cosine for the horizontal constant motion and sine for the vertical motion affected by gravity. By mastering this decomposition, you can predict the path of any projectile. Thank you for watching.
If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.